Welcome to my class of cybersecurity. Today we will learn about three-way handshake and TCP/IP flags. A three-way handshake is a method used in a TCP/IP network to create a connection between a local host, client and server. Three-way handshake. TCP uses a three-way handshake to establish a reliable connection. The connection is full duplex and both sides synchronize SYN and acknowledge ACK each other. The exchange of these four flags is performed in three steps: synchronize, acknowledge, and then acknowledge. It is a three-step method designed to allow both communicating ends to initiate and negotiate the parameters of the network TCP socket connection at the same time before data such as HTTP and SSH is transmitted. Multiple TCP socket connections can be transmitted in both directions simultaneously. A three-way handshake is also known as TCP handshake or synchronize, acknowledge, and requires both the client and server to exchange synchronization and acknowledgement packets before actual data transmission begins. In fact, its name originates from the three messages transmitted by TCP before a session between the two ends is initiated. Three-way handshake is primarily used to create a TCP socket connection to reliably transmit data between devices. For example, it supports communication between a web browser on the client side and a server every time a user navigates the internet. As soon as client requests a communication session with the server, a three-way handshake process initiates TCP traffic by following three steps. So there are three steps which are followed. The transmission control protocol is the most common transport layer protocol. It works together with IP and provides a reliable transport service between processes using the network layer service provided by the IP protocol. The various services provided by TCP to the application layer are as follows. Process-to-process communication. TCP provides process-to-process communication, that is, the transfer of data takes place between individual processes executing on end systems. This is done using port numbers or port addresses. Port numbers are 16-bit long that help identify which process is sending or receiving data on a host. It is stream oriented. This means that data is sent and received as a stream of bytes, unlike UDP or IP that divides the bit into datagrams or packets. However, the network layer that provides service for the TCP sends packet of information, not stream of bytes. Hence, TCP groups a number of bytes together into a segment and adds a header to each of these segments and then delivers these segments. That means these segments are delivered. At the network layer, it is copied and then it is sent. Full duplex service. Full duplex service occurs when the communication is done from both the ways. That is, when the sender as well as receiver can both send, then we can say that full duplex service is working. This means that communication can take place in both the directions at the same time. Now we will look for connection oriented service. Unlike UDP, TCP provides connection oriented service. It defines three different phases: connection establishment, data transfer, connection termination. TCP is reliable as it uses checksum for error detection, attempts to recover lost or corrupted packets by retransmission, acknowledgement policy, and timers. It uses features like byte number and sequence number and acknowledgement number so as to ensure reliability. Also, it uses congestion control mechanisms. Multiplexing is one of the characteristics. TCP does multiplexing and demultiplexing at the sender and receiver ends respectively, as a number of logical connection can be established between port numbers over a physical connection. All the data bytes that are to be transmitted are numbered and the beginning of this numbering is arbitrary. Sequence number are given to the segments so as to reassemble the bytes at the receiver end, even if they arrive in a different order. Sequence number of a segment is the byte number of the first byte that is being sent. Acknowledgement number is required since TCP provides full duplex service. Acknowledgement number is the next byte number that the receiver expects to receive, which also provide acknowledgement for receiving the previous byte. Now we will come to three-way handshake. In three-way handshake, host A, if we consider a host, then host A initiates the connection by sending the TCP synchronization packet to the destination host. The server receives the packet and responds with its own sequence number. Host A acknowledges the response of the server by sending the acknowledgement number, which is the server's sequence number incremented by 1. In detail, we can say that in the first step, client want to establish a connection with server, so it sends a segment with synchronized sequence number SYN, which informs server that client is likely to start communication and with what sequence number it starts segment with. Step 2 is synchronization plus acknowledgement. Server responds to the client request with synchronization plus acknowledgement signal bits set. Acknowledgement signifies the response of segment it received, and synchronization signifies with what sequence number it is likely to start the segment with. Step 3 is acknowledgement. In the final part, client acknowledges the response of server and they both establish a reliable connection with which they will start the actual data transfer. The step 1 and step 2 establish the connection parameter for one direction and it is acknowledged. Step 2 and 3 establish the connection parameter or sequence number for the other direction and it is acknowledged. With these, a full duplex communication is established. Initial sequence number are randomly selected while establishing connection between client and server. It is explained with the help of a diagram. Host A establishes a connection with server and synchronization or synchronized sequence number is sent. Then server, after successful connection, it sends acknowledgement message along with the synchronized sequence number, and then again host, on receiving this synchronized SYN and ACK, it again sends the acknowledgement. We can describe it as first, a connection between client and server is established, so the target server must have open ports that can accept and initialize new conventions. The client node sends a synchronized sequence number data packet over an IP network to a server on the same or external network. The synchronization packet is a random sequence number that the client wants to use for the communication. The objective of this packet is to ask or infer if the server is open for new connection. The server receives the synchronization packet from the client node. When a server receives the synchronization packet from the client node, it represents and returns a confirmation receipt, the acknowledgement number packet or synchronization and acknowledgement packet. This packet include two sequence number. The first one is ACK1, which is set by the server to one more than the sequence number it receives from client. The second one is the synchronization sent by the server, which is another random sequence number. The sequence indicates that the server correctly acknowledged the client's packet and that is sending its own to be acknowledged as well. In the third step, client node receives the synchronization and acknowledgement from the server and responds with an acknowledgement packet. Once again, each side must acknowledge the sequence number received by incrementing it by 1. So now it is the turn of the client to acknowledge the server's packet by adding 1 to the sequence number and resend it to the server. Upon completion of the process, the connection is created and the host and server can communicate. All these steps are necessary to verify the serial numbers originated by both sides, guaranteeing the stability of the connection. Since both hosts must acknowledge the connection parameters of the other side, a missing or out of order segment can be quickly detected before the actual data transfer process is initiated. This is again one diagrammatic representation of the three-way handshake process. First step, this is the second step, and this is the third step. Now we come to TCP flags. What are TCP flags? TCP flags are used within TCP packet transfers. It is used when a transfer to indicate a particular connection state or provide additional information. Therefore, they can be used for troubleshooting purpose or to control how a particular connection is handled. There are few TCP flags that are much more commonly used than other flag. In TCP connection, flags are used to indicate a particular state of connection or to provide some additional useful information like troubleshooting purposes or to handle a control of a particular connection. Most commonly used flags are synchronization, ACK and FIN. Each flag corresponds to one bit of information. Now we will learn about different TCP flags. List of TCP flags. First is SYN, ACK, FIN, URG, PSH, FST, ECE. There are several other flags also. Now we start with SYN or synchronization flag. It is used in first step of connection establishment phase or three-way handshake process between the two hosts. Only the first packet from sender as well as receiver should have this flag set. This is used for synchronizing sequence number, that is to tell the other end which sequence number they should accept. It is used as a first step of establishing a three-way handshake between two hosts. Only the first packet from both the sender and receiver should have this flag set. Now this is the process of synchronization. Now we start with ACK. ACK is acknowledgement. It is used to acknowledge packets which are successfully received by the host. The flag is set if the acknowledgement number field contains a valid acknowledgement number. Otherwise, the flag field is not set. Only if the flag field is set, we can understand that the message is received successfully. Next is FIN. This is finished flag. We can understand the finished flag means that there is no data. There is no more data from the sender, therefore it is used in the last packet sent from the sender. It is used to request for connection termination, that is, when there is no more data from the sender, it requests for connection termination. This is the last packet sent by sender. It frees the reserved resources and gracefully terminate the session. One of the flag is reset. It is used to terminate the connection if the RST or reset sender feels something is wrong with the TCP connection or that the conversation should not exist. It can send from receiver side when packet is sent to particular host that was not expecting it. So we need to understand that there is a difference between FIN and RST. FIN or finished is gracefully terminates the connection. RST or reset abruptly tells the other side to stop communicating. In case of finished, only one side of conversation is stopped, and in reset the whole conversation is stopped. There is no data loss in case of finished flag, whereas data is discarded in case of reset. In case of finished flag, receiver of FIN keeps communicating till it wants to, whereas in case of RST, receiver has to stop the communication. URG or urgent. Data inside a segment with URG is equal to one flag is forwarded to application layer immediately, even if there are more data to be given to application layer. It is used to notify the receiver to process the urgent packet before processing all other packet. The receiver will be notified when all known urgent data has been received. PSH or push flag. Transport layer by default waits for some time for application layer to send enough data equal to maximum segment size so that the number of packet transmitted on network minimizes, which is not desirable by some application like interactive application or chatting. Similarly, transport layer at receiver end buffers packet and transmit to application layer if it meets certain criteria. This problem is solved by using PSH. Transport layer sets PSH is equal to 1 and immediately sends the segment to network layer as soon as it receives signal from application layer. Receiver transport layer, on seeing PSH is equal to 1, immediately forwards the data to application layer. In general, it tells the receiver to process these packets as they are received instead of buffering them. Now there is difference between push versus urgent flag. In push flag, all data in buffer to be pushed to sender and receiver. In urgent, only the urgent data to be given is immediately. Data is delivered in sequence in case of push flag, whereas in case of urgent, data is delivered out of sequence. Now there are other flags also. RST, the reset flags, gets sent from the receiver to the sender when a packet is sent to a particular host that was not expecting it. ECE, the flag is responsible for indicating if the TCP peer is ECN capable. ECN allows end-to-end notification of network congestion without dropping packets. CWR, the congestion window reduce flag, is used by the sending host to indicate it received a packet with the ECE flag set. NS is experimental. The nonce some flag is still an experimental flag used to help protect against accidental malicious concealment of packets from sender. So these are different types of flag. Now we come to TCP header format. The header of a TCP segment can range from 20 to 60 bytes. 40 bytes are for option. If there are no option, header is of 20 byte, else it can be of upmost 60 byte. First field is source port address, 16-bit field that holds the port address of the application that is sending the data segment. Destination port field, it is again a 16-bit field that holds the port address of the application in the host that is receiving the data segment. Sequence number, 32-bit field that holds the sequence number, that is the byte number of the first byte that is sent in that particular segment. It is used to reassemble the message at the receiving end if the segments are received out of order. Acknowledgement number, 32-bit field that holds the acknowledgement number, that is the byte number that the receiver expects to receive next. It is an acknowledgement for the previous byte being received successfully. HLEN is header length. Header length or HLEN is a 4-bit field that indicates the length of the TCP header by number of 4-byte words in the header. That is, if the header is of 20 bytes, which is the minimum length of TCP header, then this field will hold 5 into 4, 20, and the maximum length 60 byte. Then it will hold 15. Hence, the value of this field is always between 5 and 15. Now there are control flags also. These are 6 1-bit control bits that control connection establishment, connection termination, connection abortion, flow control, mode of transfers, etc. Their function is URG. We call it reserve. Here it is shown as reserved, and these are the flags. First is URG. URG is urgent pointer is valid. Now the next is ACK. ACK is acknowledgement number is valid. It is used in case of cumulative acknowledgement. Then there is PSH, request for push. Then there is RST, RST used for reset the connection. SYN is used for synchronize sequence number, and at the end it is FIN or finish. It means terminate the connection. Then there is window size. This field tells the window size of the sending TCP in bytes. Checksum. This field holds the checksum for error control. It is mandatory in TCP as opposed to UDP. Then there is urgent pointer. Urgent pointer field is only if the URG control flag is set, is used to point to data that is urgently required, that need to reach the receiving process at the earliest. The value of this field is added to the sequence number to get the byte number of the last urgent byte. TCP is connection oriented. So a TCP connection is established by three-way handshake. It is necessary to remember that since a three-way handshake is needed, because TCP is a reliable stream delivery service which guarantees that all bytes received will be identical and in the same order as those sent. Since packet transfer by many network is not reliable, TCP achieve this using a technique which is called positive acknowledgement with retransmission. This requires the receiver to respond with an acknowledgement message as it receives the data. The sender keeps a record of each packet it sends and maintains a timer from when the packet was sent. The sender retransmits a packet if the timer expires before receiving the acknowledgement. The timer is needed in case a packet gets lost or corrupted. When IP handles actual delivery of data, TCP keeps track of segment, the individual units of data transmission that a message is divided into for efficient routing through the network. For example, when an HTML file is sent from a web server, the TCP software layer of that server divides the file into segments and forwards them individually to the internet layer in the network stack. The internet layer software encapsulates each TCP segment into an IP packet by adding a header that includes, among other data, the destination IP address. When the client program on the destination computer receives them, the TCP software in the transport layer reassembles the segment and ensures they are correctly ordered and error-free as it streams the file content to the receiving application. Thank you for watching.